Hey everyone, welcome in. Today we're going to be taking a look at grade 4 module 1 lesson 15 problem set. We're really going to take that regrouping to the next level here. In lesson 15, what we're looking to do is we want students to be able to use their place value understanding to fluently decompose to larger units multiple times in any place value using that standard subtraction algorithm, and then apply that algorithm to solve word problems using tape diagram. So we could be regrouping any number of times in these problems down here. So I'm going to take this problem by problem. I'm going to do A, B, C, D, and G using the standard algorithm. And then when we look here at E, F, and G, we have in E and F, we're subtracting 1 million, subtracting off of 1 million. And in letter H, we're subtracting off of 600,000. So in those problems, I'm going to, go ahead and go through that standard algorithm with all the regrouping, and then I'm going to show a little trick to hopefully make things a little bit easier on students. If they have a good understanding of their place value, shouldn't be too much of an issue. Let's go ahead and dive right in with number 1, where we're doing 101,660 minus 91,680, and we'll just hop right into the subtraction. So in our ones place, 0 minus 0 is 0, and here's where the regrouping starts. So 6 in the tens minus 8 tens, I would have to regroup from my hundreds. So I'm going to regroup 6 hundreds for 5 hundreds, and that gives me 10 more tens to play with, plus the 6 that are already there to make 16, minus 8, which is 8. Now in my hundreds place, I'm going to have to regroup because I can't take 6 away from 5. So I'm going to regroup this 1,000 for 10 extra hundreds, which gives me 15 hundreds. And 15 minus 6 is 9. Now I don't have any thousands to take away from, so I can't go over to my 10,000s. I have to jump all the way over here to my 100,000s. I'm going to regroup 100,000 for 10 10,000s. And it still didn't solve my issue of needing thousands, but at least now I have some 10,000s to regroup from. So this 10 is going to become a 9 because I need some thousands to play with. So 10 thousands minus 1,000 is 9. And 9 minus 9 is 0, and 0 minus 0 is 0 to make 9,980. Letter B, we're going to do 101,660 minus 9,980. So maybe between A and B, you notice a little bit of something. 0 minus 0 is 0. 6 minus 8, I would need to regroup in order to be able to do. So I'm going to regroup 600s for 500s and 10 tens. I already have 6 tens here to make 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. 5 minus 9, I would have to regroup. So I'm going to regroup over here from my thousands, which leaves me with no thousands. So I have 10 extra hundreds to play with the 500s that I already have. So 15 minus 9 is 6. And 0 minus 9, I would need to regroup from the 100,000s over here. So I'll regroup. So 0 100,000s would give me 10 10,000s to play with, but I still need thousands. So instead of 10 10,000s, I'm going to have 9 10,000s and regroup that one extra one over here. So now I have 10. So a lot of crossing out, a lot of regrouping here. 10 minus 9 is 1. 9 minus nothing is 9 to make 91,680. And if you notice, from letter A to letter B, we were just subtracting the two subtrahends. So I'll go ahead and highlight those real quick for you. So in this problem, letter A, our difference was the subtrahend from B, and again, kind of over there. Let's go ahead and take a look at letter C. 242,561 minus 44,702. In my ones place, I'll have to regroup because I can't take 2 away from 1. So I'm going to regroup 6 tens for 5 tens and 10 ones. I already have a 1 here, so I have 11. 11 take away 2 is 9. 5 minus nothing, no regrouping there, is 5. In my hundreds place, I will need to regroup. 7 on the bottom is larger than the 5 on top. So I'm going to regroup from my thousands, regroup 2 thousands for 1,000 and 10 extra hundreds. I already have 5, so that'll give me 15. In the hundreds place, 15 minus 7 is 8. In my thousands place, 1 minus 4, I'll need to regroup in order to be able to do. So I'll take from the 10,000s. So I'm going to regroup 4 10,000s for 3 10,000s and 10 more thousands plus the 1 that I already have. 11 minus 4 is 7. 3 minus 4, need to regroup. Going to regroup 2 in the 100,000s for 100,000s to make 10 extra 10,000s. 13 minus 4 is 9, and 1 minus nothing is 1 to make 197,859. Over here, letter D, 242,561 minus 74,987. My ones place, 1 take away 7, I cannot do. I'll need to regroup. So I'm going to regroup 6 tens for 5 tens to give me 10 extra ones plus the 1 I already have, which makes 11. 11 minus 7 is 4. 5 minus 8, I'll need to regroup in order to be able to do. So I'll regroup 5 hundreds for 4 hundreds and 10 extra tens, and I already have 5 tens. So that becomes 15. 15 minus 8 is 7. 4 minus 9, need to regroup again. So regroup over here from my thousands, 2,000s, become 1,000, and then 10 extra hundreds is 14. 14 minus 9 is 5. 1 minus 4, I'll have to regroup 4. So regroup 4 10,000s for 3 10,000s to give me 10 extra thousands to play with. 11 minus 4 is 7. 3 minus 7, need to regroup again. So I'm going to regroup over here 2 100,000s for 100,000. That'll give me 10 extra 10,000s to play with. 13 minus 7 is 6. And 1 minus nothing is 1. So as you can see, we really want students to be proficient and competent regrouping. And you can see in these 4 problems here, I've had to regroup every single time, just about every single time in the place values. We really want students to be competent with this skill. I'm going to skip over E and F right now to do letter G, and then I'll come back and do E, F, and H. So for letter G, 8 minus 9 in the ones place would have to regroup in order to do that. So this 5 in the tens, I'm going to regroup 10 tens for 10 ones. I'm sorry, 1 10 for 10 ones. So take away a 10 from here to make 10 ones. 18 minus 9 is 9. 4 minus 6, I'll have to regroup to do. So I'll take 6 hundreds and regroup it for 5 hundreds and 10 tens. 14 minus 6 is 8. 5 minus 5 is 0. And in order to subtract my thousands, I'll need to jump all the way over here to my 100,000s. So I'm going to regroup 600,000s for 500,000s. And that'll give me 10 10,000s. Still didn't solve my issue of needing thousands, but now I have some 10,000s I can take from. So I'm going to regroup 10 10,000s for 9 10,000s, and that will give me 10,000. So I can take away 2, which is 8,000s. 9 minus 9 is 0, and 5 minus 5 is also 0 for a difference of 8,000 489. Now, here in letter E, we have zeros in the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and the 100,000s, and we have 1 million all the way over here. I need to regroup all the way from the millions place down to the ones place. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first, and then I'll show you sort of like the the shortcut method. So 0 minus 0, I actually can do this. 0, I can go here and do 0. I can go here and do 0. But here is where I run into my issue. So in my thousands place, I have no thousands, no 10,000s, no 100,000s, but I can regroup from the millions. So I have 0 millions left over, and I'm going to regroup 0 millions for 10 hundred thousands. I'm going to regroup one of these 100,000s for 10,000s. Still don't have any thousands to play with, but at least now I can take away from here. And now I have 10,000s. So really, 10,000s with 9 10,000s and 9 100,000s is the same as having 1 million. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 9 is 0. 9 minus 5 is 4 to make 408,000. Now, we could do it that way. Really no big deal here. But if I want students to be, confident and, and I know that they have a very good understanding of place value, sometimes what I will tell students to do is instead of regrouping across all of these zeros, I can just take away 1 from this number, and I can take away 1 from this number. And since I'm doing the same thing to both numbers that I'm subtracting, I'll be creating a new subtraction problem. So 1 million minus 1 is 999,999. And then I'll also take 1 away from this number as well. So 592,000 minus 1 will be 591,999. Saved myself a lot of aggravating with regrouping just by subtracting 1 there. If your students are competent taking 1 away from 1 million and they understand that that would be 999,999, and they're competent taking 1 away from this larger number here, 592,000, you save yourself a lot of aggravation with regrouping. 9 minus 9 is 0. 9 minus 9 is 0. 9 minus 9 is 0. 9 minus 1 is 8. 9 minus 9 is 0. And 9 minus 8 is 4 to make 408,000, which is the exact same answer we got from before. I'll do both ways here with letter F and then also letter H. So again, 1 million minus 592,500. Got to start with my regrouping, but at least now I can start in the hundreds place, because in my ones place, 0 minus 0, I'm able to do, which is 0. My tens place, 0 minus 0, again, which I'm able to do, is 0. Here's where I need to do all my regrouping, though, because I do have 0 hundreds, and I need to take away 5 hundreds. Can't regroup from the thousands, can't regroup from the 10,000s, can't regroup from the 100,000s, have to regroup from the millions. So I'm going to regroup 1 million as 0 millions and 10 100,000s. Doesn't help me needing hundreds, though. So I'll regroup 10 100,000s for 9 100,000s and 10 10,000s. Again, getting closer, still doesn't help me. I'll regroup 10 10,000s for 9 10,000s and 10 thousands. Now I have some thousands I can take from, so I'm going to regroup this 10 thousands as 9 thousands and 10 hundreds. So 10 minus 5 is 5. Now that I have some 9s up here, that's going to make it easy with my regrouping. I'm not going to have to regroup at this point. So 9 minus 2 is 7. 9 minus 9 is 0. And 9 minus 5 is 4 to make 400, and 7,500. So I'm going to put that number just up here so we can check it, when we do sort of that other method to save us all that aggravation and all those numbers to keep straight with our regrouping. So again, if I just remove 1 from this number up here and this number here, it's going to save me a lot of aggravation with regrouping. So 1 million, take away 1 is 999,999. And 592,500 minus 1 is 592,499. So when I have those 9s up here in my larger number, really saves me a lot of aggravation. So this becomes a problem where there's no regrouping just by subtracting 1 from both numbers in our subtraction problem. 9 minus 9, 0. 9 minus 9, 0. 9 minus 4, 5. 9 minus 2, 7. 9 minus 9, 0. 9 minus 5, 4. And that's the same answer we got from above. So we're in really good shape. Letter H, 600,000 minus 592,569. Again, I'll go ahead and I'll do all the regrouping and then sort of like the -1 trick at the very end. So in this case, I need to regroup all the way from the 100,000s all the way down to the ones because I do have ones that I need to take away. That other problem's in the way, so I'll do this one in red. 0 minus 9 cannot do. Need to regroup all the way over here in the 100,000s. So I'm going to regroup 600,000s for 500,000s and 10,000s. Regroup 10,000s for 9 10,000s and 10,000s. In order to get some hundreds, I'll regroup 10 hundreds for regroup 10,000s for 9,000s, 10 hundreds, regroup 10 hundreds for 9 hundreds, 10 tens, and finally 10 tens for 9 tens and 10 ones. I didn't do any subtraction here. I'm just reimagining what 600,000 would look like. So 10 minus 9, we have 1. Since I have all these 9s up here, I'm able to regroup pretty easily. Able to subtract pretty easily, I should say. 9 minus 6 is 3. 9 minus 5 is 4. 9 minus 2 is 7. 9 minus 9 is 0. And 5 minus 5 is 0 to make 7,431. And again, we can show this again by just subtracting 1 away from each number. There is another way that I will sometimes, show students where rather than maybe taking 1 away from both numbers, I'll just take away 1 from my top number, but I always tell them you got to put that 1 back then there at the end. So I'll just take 1 away from 600,000 in this case to make 599,999. And I'm going to leave this number intact for this example. So 592,569. And then we got to add that 1 back then there at the end. 9 minus 9 is 0. 9 minus 6 is 3. 9 minus 5 is 4. 9 minus 2 is 7. So we have our actual answer that we got earlier was 7,431. Here we have 7,430, but again, don't forget to add this 1 back to make that 7,431. So I like to show students both ways, let them decide which one works best for them. Ultimately, we do want students to be able to regroup, but a little problem solving is definitely certainly goes a long way with helping students as well. Bringing in that critical thinking aspect of it, that one less than this real larger number could save me a lot of trouble with regrouping, where there's a lot of moving parts. So um, you know let students decide, have them choose, but ultimately it would be great if they were competent doing both. Let's go ahead and move on to the word problems here. Directions say use tape diagram and the standard algorithm to solve the problems below, and then we're going to check our answers. Number 2 says David is flying from Hong Kong to Buenos Aires. The total flight distance is 11,472 miles. If the plane has 7,793 miles left to travel, how far has it already traveled? So we'll use a tape diagram, but I'm going to use a number line to illustrate this problem here, where from here to here is our total distance. This would be the entire flight. So this would be 11,472 miles from here to here. Now, we're breaking this up into two parts. So we'll kind of break our number line right there, where there's a part that has already been traveled and a part that is left to travel. So David's flying from Hong Kong to Buenos Aires. The total flight distance is 11,472 miles. There's 7,793 miles left to travel. How far has already been traveled? So we could say that this part here is 7,793. We want to know how far has the plane already gone. And you can kind of see that this already starts to take the shape of our tape diagram. And I'll do that down here, where the total flight distance is 11,472 miles. They already traveled some part of it, and there's 7,793 miles left to travel. We'll use subtraction to find our missing part here. So 11,472 minus 7,793. Again, got to regroup in our ones place. 2 minus 3 I cannot do, so I'll regroup from the tens. 12 minus 3 is 9. 6 minus 9, I'll need to regroup. 16 minus 9 is 7. 3 minus 7, I'll need to regroup again. So I'll regroup 1,000 for 0,000s and 10 extra hundreds. 13 minus 7 is 6. And need to regroup one last time. 10 minus 7 is 3 to make 3,679. Quickly check my work. 3,679 miles that we're thinking they already traveled, plus the amount of mileage they have yet to travel, should come out to our total distance of the entire flight. 9 plus 3, 12. 9 plus 7 plus 1 is 17. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 7 is 14. And 1 plus 3 plus 4 is 11 to make 11,472. That checks. So we know that they already traveled 3,679 miles. Plane has already traveled 3,679 miles. I'm going to use a picture to show number 3. Tank A holds 678,500 gallons of water. Tank B holds 905,867 gallons of water. how much less water does tank A hold than tank B? So just use this little rectangle here. This will be A, and I'll try and use the exact same size for B. We'll say that, maybe about this much water is in tank A, and tank B holds 905,867, which is a greater number than 678,500. So I'm going to make that water level higher. Now, we can kind of see, based on where tank A is, tank B holds more water than does tank A. We need to solve how much less water does tank A hold than tank B. Another way of thinking of this is how much more water does tank B hold than tank A. Either which way, we will need to subtract the amount that tank B holds from the amount that tank A holds. And before I get too far, just again, using that tape diagram, tank B holds 905,867 gallons. So this would be tank A's amount, which is 678,500. And this is how much more space, the amount, this amount here, the amount, how should I say this? The amount of liquid, the amount of more liquid that B can hold than A, which is what we're solving for. Again, need to subtract 7 minus 0. Don't need to regroup that. 6 minus 0, I don't need to regroup that. 8 minus 5, I don't need to regroup that. 5 minus 8, that I do need to regroup. But I need to regroup all the way over here from my 100,000s. So 900,000s become 800,000s and 10 10,000s. 10 10,000s is same as 9 10,000s and an additional 10,000s with the 5 I already have. So 15 minus 8 is 7. 9 minus 7 is 2. 8 minus 6 is also 2. And Mark had $25,081 in his bank account on Thursday. On Friday, his paycheck hit. He added a paycheck to his bank account, and it went up to $26,010. What was the amount of Mark's paycheck? So we can do 26,010 minus 25,081. That'll give us Mark's paycheck. Regroup. Need to regroup here. Two, 9, 0, and 0. So $929. Again, just use that tape diagram. $26,010 plus the amount that was already in his account, which is $25,081, and this would be his paycheck. It's $929. So we can say, we can say Mark's paycheck was $929.